Welcome back to another beautiful day in California. I wish I could say it truthfully. As I'm sure you've heard, the Bay Area where I live, as well as much of the West Coast, has been ravaged by forest fires. If you've noticed ash on your garden or property and wondered what you should do about it, we're covering it in this episode.
Hey now, take a step outside and seize the day now.
My name is Ryan, and this is Growing in the City, where we discuss gardening tips to help you have a more successful growing season and take care of your cool houseplants. Over the last couple of weeks, though, we've been really concerned about forest fires as they have somewhat surrounded the Bay. Results of this have been incredibly smoggy gray or even orange skies during the day, unhealthy air quality, and ash falling on properties miles away from where the fires are technically occurring. The same conditions have been observed in both Northern and Southern California, Washington, and where I grew up in Oregon. In particular, I've seen ash on cars and tabletops and leaves in my garden. My neighbor noticed the same and asked if he needed to be worried about the ash falling onto his vegetables, and I thought it would be helpful to share what we discussed. So first, is ash harmful to the garden? Thankfully, generally, wood ash is beneficial to your garden. Wood ash contains potash, which is often found as an ingredient in fertilizers for potassium. Above, you'll see a link where we go in depth regarding fertilizers if you want to know more about the role potassium plays in growing your food. Wood ash is also alkaline, so it can help balance the pH of your soil if it is acidic, or if the plants you typically grow appreciate alkaline conditions, such as lettuces, fruit trees, and many other vegetables. There are conditions where ash in your garden could pose a problem. If you live in an area with alkaline soil, and that includes a large part of the western U.S. with limited rainfall, making your soil more alkaline would make growing conditions more difficult. Colorado would be a perfect example of a place like that. Also, some crops love acidic conditions, so for example, such as blueberries. So adding wood ash to blueberries, wouldn't be doing them any favors. So if you are finding value in this video so far, don't forget to subscribe so you'll be informed when new content releases. So next, if you're noticing these ashes in your garden, and let's say, or somewhere else, and you want to remove them, what is the best way to remove ash from the garden vegetables and the leaves in particular, right? And because even if it's good for the garden, we don't necessarily want it on the leaves or on the actual fruit or vegetables themselves. So the easiest way to remove ash is just lightly watering it from above, and just avoid watering it in the afternoon, especially under a lot of direct sunlight, so they don't burn. And also, you want to make sure that you soak the soil. It's going to be less likely to blow around. If you're trying to remove ash from your car or other property outside, rinsing it off with water is better than wiping it off, because sometimes ash could actually scratch, for example, the paint on your car. Ash, like many other small particulate compounds, is bad news to inhale. So you want to avoid that at all costs. Don't use blowers or other devices that are likely going to agitate or blast particles into the air. Of course, wearing a mask and goggles is definitely advised if you need to remove ash. Because we've been advised to be prepared to evacuate, and I've seen a lot of my friends who grew up in Clackamas County, Oregon, who they're dealing with the same or actually having to evacuate, or seeing neighboring towns actually burnt to the ground that I used to play ball in. I've really been intensifying my efforts towards emergency planning, and if tips to be better prepared for emergencies would be of interest to you, please let me know in the comments, and I can certainly share those in future videos. I have posted several links in the video description for different fire or emergency management agencies along the West Coast that might be helpful if you're looking for current information. If you're in a different region of the U.S., I'd recommend you start with your county's fire department and or state management agencies. And finally, I want to wish all the firefighters out there working on the blazes, Godspeed, and watch your six. It looks like it's going to be a long, fire season, and so take care of yourself, and we definitely appreciate you. For more interesting gardening houseplant videos, click on any videos coming up. I'll see you in the next one.